Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Psychic Solutions Podcast. I'm Dr. Linda Salvin, and I'm here to talk about healing today. There's a lot of questions about what's a healer, who's a shaman, what's a shaman, how do you heal, do you really heal? We all have pain. There's not a human being on the planet that is painless, okay? We suffer from rejection. We suffer from denial. We suffer in lies. We suffer from loneliness. We suffer from trauma. There's always something that causes us pain, but we hide it and we just go on, and not always are people victimized and telling you all their woes or crying all the time or, showing what they suffer with, but humans suffer. This planet is about suffering. The healers, the shamans, the light workers, the therapists, the chiropractors, doctors, naturopaths. There's a lot of different categories of professions that are known to help heal. You heal the psyche, you help heal the emotions, you help heal the body. It's all part of the one. I learned spiritual healing, and I am a spiritual shamanic metaphysical healer, and I've been doing this since 1991 when I was given a gift of healing after I had some major surgery. And one of the cases I have on record is I had a woman who had 26 split personalities. She was put together back in one. Her mother flew in from out of state to thank me. I didn't know that the severity of her situation of multiple personality disorder was there until after she told me what she felt integrated. The mother asked why I don't take this to the psych wards. I said, because I never understand. And that's true. A lot of the traditional medicinal healing modalities do not understand what spiritual work is about. And it's not, hands-on. And I understand the faith healers, and I don't know personally how much of that is real or not. But I know for me, what I've experienced over the last 30 years or so, helping people, more than 30 years, so maybe 33 years as a healer, I've helped tremendous amounts of people. One time I had my hands near somebody's face and he said, will you take the candle away? No, I have so much energy that comes out of my hands that's heat, that I was working on his body and his meridians that he thought it was a candle. So if you're with the right people to help you, you will feel their energy, you will feel their heat, you will feel the movement as we go along meridians, which are the way the Chinese look at different body parts and different points on the body with chakras and going down into the organs, tissues, and muscles. As a healer, I use a technique where you're laying down, and through breathing, color, and words, I release the blocks, obstacles, negativity, pain, and whatever might have happened if you were molested, traumatized, abused, going through grief, losing a parent, a loved one, a dog, cat, turtle. We feel it goes into our muscles, it goes into our tissues, it goes into our organs. I've been given a gift to release that pain from the body. When I was on radio in the 90s, I had a person who said that the healing I did for him in one session beat 3 years of therapy for him. So it's deep. And I also do the candles with wicks of wisdom that help enhance the healing process if you use the good luck power and the health and wellness power candles. The candles that I have, wicks of wisdom, are like a prescription for your soul. And depending on what the issue is for money or luck or health or legal or whatever you're going through, I have a formula that helps with that. So the health and wellness, harmony power, and good luck are usually what is suggested for your health issues. I have a man in Switzerland who had gone through some testing with his doctors and ultrasounds. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with his foot. I burned the candles for him in California, and the testimony is online that he's healed. He can walk. He's out of pain because the candles are energy, but it's metaphysics and it works. It's a combination of Kabbalah and Santeria principles, but candle magic does work if you know that what you're doing with the right practitioner. I have certain formulas with different oils. There's petitions. I dictate words that go into the candle, and it all works together. I've had people who were suicidal, and whether it was suicidal ideation or suicidal real pain, all I know is that within 7 days, the person called back and thanked me that he was fine getting on with his life. Another is on my infomercial. It's parked at YouTube, Dr. Linda Selman. I was on TV. There is an FBI agent who does a voiceover and talks about how the candles worked. All that's real. All this is real. So I have been doing this for a long time. I'm here to help you. A lot of people don't understand healing. And no, I'm not a charlatan. And no, I didn't just make it up. It was given to me. My background's in epidemiology, and then I was in some traumatic accidents, and I became very psychic, and then I had surgeries, and then I became the healer, and I had more surgeries, and I became the medium. And all this story from 30 years is coming out in my book this year because I'm starting to move away from this field, going into something else. After all this time, I'm ready to close the chapter to most of it. But I'm grateful for the amount of energy and work and gifts I've been given to help people. I'm not quitting. I'm not retiring. I'm just shifting like everybody else. There's a lot of shift going on. We've talked about near-death experiences. We've talked about healing. We've talked about the soul circle. We've talked about out-of-body experiences. We've talked about candles, making predictions. On one of the shows, we talk about addiction and families and mental health. And it all ties into mind, body, spirit. I have my neighbor and friend on with me today. Dave is coming on. And we're going to talk about healing. And he had experienced a near-death experience. And you've probably heard this story with him before, where he almost drowned in the ocean in Hawaii. So he's going to talk about that because through his life, through that experience, he's healed and been on a different journey. And you can bring him on, Rebel. Let's bring Dave forward and bring him into the show. Here you go. Hey,
hello.
Dave. Hi. Welcome back.
Well, good to be back.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been quite a journey here. Mm-hmm. And I've used your sample of an NDE with people on the different episodes. So why don't you, again, I know I might get monotonous, but explain when you were in the ocean, what happened?
Well, the summer after high school, I went with my then girlfriend, to Hawaii, and we spent the summer there. 3 months living on the beach, staying with friends, couch surfing, whatever. And we went to Makapu Beach to go swimming one day, and it was a nice sunny day. Waves were coming in, but they weren't anything tremendous or large, and I got caught in a riptide. So I didn't know about riptides, and there were no warnings or anything, but it's like any Hawaiian beach, they have lifeguards and all that stuff, just like in Los Angeles, they have lifeguards lining the beach. Sure. And I got caught in a riptide, and it carried me out, and I couldn't touch, it was at first it was just at my waist, and then it was up at my chest, and then it was at my shoulders, and then it was like right above here, and I couldn't get into shore. It kept pulling me out. I'd touch ground, but it was some coral rocks, very sharp, that I didn't want to step on. And so in my mind, I thought, this is it. This is how I die. And I was gasping for air, running out of strength because I was trying to dog paddle and try to swim into shore. But the more I swam towards the shore, the further out I came. I didn't know that you're supposed to go across. Crossway.
Against the pressure. Okay, against the wave. So they're pushing you this way. You got to go against it, the opposite direction. That's interesting.
Apparently so. I haven't really had a whole lot of ocean experience.
Well, let's not try that, but that makes sense. Yeah.
And so in my mind, I thought, okay, this is the end. This is how I die. And all of a sudden, I saw myself. It's like a camera view overhead, like a crane shot.
That's the out of body. That's the out of body.
Okay. Then so I could see myself struggling in the water, but I was like 20 or 30 feet above myself. And it was such a strange feeling that it gave me a kind of a calmness, that I wasn't afraid to die, but I knew that I was going to. And I imagined what it would be like to see my lifeless body on the beach. The ambulance would back up, load me on the gurney, and off I'd go to the coroner's office.
Mm.
And so I thought, this is it. I'm going to go. And then all of a sudden, I felt a hand reach out and pull me in. And it was the lifeguard. My girlfriend had alerted the lifeguard and said, my friend needs help. And so he pulled me ashore and just left me right there on the wet sand on the beach. And I was so exhausted. I couldn't move. My whole body was it was like I was paralyzed. But it was so strange that I could see myself trying to swim towards the shore. I guess that was my out-of-body experience. But I survived.
It's both. It's both, because the fear of dying and thinking about it, you probably had a life review of where you were at 18 and thinking back to maybe when you were 3 or 4, however back your mind went while you're trying to survive, and then watching yourself. That's the out of body. There's 2 different things going on through this. Just like when I was in the plane crash, I had the near-death experience. I remembered things from 27 all the way back to maybe 3 or 2 years of age. But then when I hit the ground and went running, I was out of my body for 40 feet or 50 feet for about 4 months. And I so was out, but that's when I became the psychic on this angular entry. But this is what we go through because we're spirit, we're energy. But growing up, and most people, until you start to see beyond your physical and cognitive self, don't understand that we are actually more than this body. It's like you have a car, you have a BMW, and you've got a SUV in your driveway, but you got to put gas in it. And if you open up the hood, there's all those different pieces and hoses and carburetors and things I don't even know, but it makes it all work. If one piece is broken or the gas is gone, it's not going to work. Yep. We're bodies. We're still a machine, but we're also of energy. So that soul is what left you to watch you, protect you, speak to you. That was a soul exchange or a soul evolution where you have, that's the out of body. The soul exits. We do that in our sleep. It's called astral projection. There are people who are involved with one another. They can have sexual astral moments where they can be in opposite ends of the world, but they know they're connecting because they feel the sexual energy. When you're sleeping, the astral projection takes place, and you might go to the Philippines and see your wife's relatives. Who knows where you're traveling? But we travel, then we re-enter the body. And sometimes when you're sleeping and you feel like a vibration, or you feel like you're frozen and all of a sudden you can't move, there's different experiences of the re-entry of the soul. That's all part of it too. Yours happened to have been in the ocean. Yours happened to have been when you were young. You woke up early, and you also knew that life had a purpose for you because you took care of yourself and went after dreams, right? So a lot of people don't. You're very accomplished. Now you're retired, but an award-winning editor, and you worked in TV and the movie industry for a long time. And But it's not just your job. It's your soul. It's your essence. It's who you are, what you think, what you feel, what you do, what your hobbies are, how you help people. You love photography, even though I'm going to do that again. But the energy of people is what I've been working with since I had an emergency hysterectomy in 1991. I was given a gift to heal people like within 2 or 3 weeks after I got out of the hospital. And all of a sudden I was helping people, and it was not something I knew. I didn't have this heat in my hands, and I didn't know how to just hold somebody and pull it out of them. And there's a movie, I can't remember the name of it, but Ellen Burstyn was the star back in the late 70s. And that story of her being in a car accident, becoming a healer, is almost my story that was done in the 70s. So I related when I saw that there's this energy thing that takes place. Chiropractors realign with the spine and our muscles and our legs and our pelvis and everything to get our body in alignment. When we're out of alignment, the posture's off, the pain is there, a disc might slip. When there's trauma and over stimulation, there's the depression, the anger, the angst, the swearing, because me especially being a psychic, I'm on this frequency trying to deal with like computer stuff, and it's too much for my type of brain, because I don't think technically when I'm out here watching and picking stuff up, it's hard to integrate it. The beauty of healing people, when I have people on the phone, whether it's local or it could be in Korea. I have a girl I've healed in Korea, and I've got people in Switzerland, and I got people in the Bahamas and the United States, and they lay down into breathing, color, and words. I take them through this little journey, and I unlock a lot of the emotions and trauma that is lodged that I find in the liver, kidney, spleen, bladder, ribs, heart, brain, whatever. But I'm given a tour of the body, and I get messages psychically to pull out. And then within 7 days, people are healing. So there's a gift in metaphysical healing that I was to talk about today. But in your situation, when you went through that, it was a form of healing in your process without knowing the words back then, because we didn't talk like this back then, and especially back then, there were no Googles and internets and people to connect with. It was our experience, and sometimes you talk about it and other times you didn't, because people thought you were weird or you wouldn't understand, and it's hard. It was hard.
I was traumatized for quite a while after that.
I bet.
And for the next 2 months that we had left on our vacation, I did not go in the water one time.
I can imagine the fear.
Nope. No more water. I wouldn't even dip my toes in the surf. It was just nothing. I'd go to the beach, but I wouldn't go in. And it haunted me for quite a while.
That's PTSD.
Mm.
That's post-traumatic stress disorder, which I've had since the plane crash in 1981. Even though, I'm traveling next week, I already have fears and anxiety of getting on another plane, but I know statistically the probability of me being in another plane crash is very low. Okay. And then where I'm going, I hope so. And then where I'm going, there's a puddle jumper where I think there's only 15 people in the plane. So I get real scared. Oh my God, we're going to hit the mountain. My brain's already active, even though I know I've got to come home. I got things to do. I'll be okay. But I'm taking an adventure, walking through the fear and the anxiety, because that's the only way you get through it. Just like now, years later, I'm sure you've been to the beach, or you've been on a boat, or, you've worked through it. It's like going in through a car accident, and you hear the crash, and then all of a sudden you don't want to drive, or you don't want to go places, but then it calms down. The body heals. It does heal. But sometimes all of us need someone to bounce off, like, this is how I feel. Am I weird? Is this a normal? Is this what I'm supposed to do? It's all part of the living process. And the older we get, the more fragile and sensitive I think we are, even though at times the older we get, the more hardened we become, because we've seen and done so much. It's like, oh, here we go again, right?
Yeah.
It's that bittersweetness. I want to put the number out. If anybody's listening and you'd like to call in and talk to Dave or me, the phone number is 561-623-9421. I know the majority of you listening to the show will have downloaded it, and it won't be live per se. It will be up on YouTube and iHeart and iTunes and Dr. Linda Radio and Facebook and all the different wonderful platforms that it's out on. But if you're listening and you're out there, feel free to call in. Ask Dave what it's like. Ask me what it's like. Ask a question about your own experience, and we'll help you. That's what I do this show for. I don't do it for me. I don't need to do it for me. I do it for you people. I've been doing it long enough. I do it in my sleep, But, healing, Dave, for example, had eye surgery a few years ago where he couldn't even see, and his eyes have healed, but now he doesn't drive because of the limitations of his sight. That's also a healing and an adjustment period. He had surgery a couple of years ago and was in bed for a while. Your body has to heal. I've had 12 surgeries. I've been in casts. I've been on crutches. I've been in the hospital for 8 nights. I've had tumors removed. When I became a medium, I had 100 tumors removed from my hips and thighs. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks until all of that started to heal. But those tumors developed for me, healing people, touching people, holding their hands, and I'd put it back in my own body. And the way I figured that out was one day I was wearing shorts and I saw the scars of all my surgeries, and I saw the imprint of what would have been my hands. So I put it all together. We're energy people. So yes, we go into the knife because we need doctors. They know how to fix the gallbladder or heart or the pancreas or the breast. And yes, you have cosmetic surgery, and you have repair surgery, or you have a tumor, or maybe you're having cancer, and people get confused. Cancer is malignant, tumor is benign, but sometimes they can get both depending on who the team is, what they see, and what your prognosis might be. But it's still part of being a healer. The doctors, going back to Hippocrates, going back to Socrates, people have been trying to heal, fix, and improve life since the beginning of time. The beauty is with technology today and the way things are on monitors, and we can see through computers where the issues might be, or an aneurysm might be, or a blood clot might be, but they can't yet. I shouldn't say they can't. There are machines and technologies that measure auras, and they can see how we feel in our energy fields, but I don't know if they can actually pinpoint the actual spiritual, say, position. Oh my gosh, wait till I bring somebody on. I'm thrilled. Hold on, let me just text him. I'll bring him on. Hi. Oh, I'm about to bring you on. This is somebody in my infomercial. We go way back. The spiritual meridians, I have no other word for it, is what we all live with. And sometimes you can walk into a home, a store, a restaurant, a villa. You can walk into a place and feel at home and nurtured, or else you walk in and it's cold and it's kind of weird because your body's telling you yes, no, safe, danger, comfortable, not comfortable. Same thing with meeting people. Do you like them? You don't like them? Do you get along with them? No. Are you on the same soul circle? Are you in that same vibe? No, we don't get along with everybody. You have to be nice most of the time, but you also will, or I know, my spirit guides come out and they'll attack if I'm being attacked, because I'm so sensitive and my energy's out to here. And I only know one other psychic on that level, and then I know one doctor on that level. But the average person's here. You guys, most people just operate at the regular cognitive level on your left side of your brain, and we're starting to open up more spiritually. And it's not about just God. God is spirit in my mind. It's not about religion and Christianity and Judaism and Buddhism, and Buddhism's not a religion, or Hinduism. There's 3,200 religions. That's all man-made. That's conceptual. Spirituality just is. It's the sky, it's the moon, it's the flowers, it's energy, it's communication, it's the world. It's the world. I'm going to bring on a man by the name of Hassan. Are you on the phone with us, or are you just texting? What is it, Rebel? Is he here, or is he just in line?
He just made a comment.
Oh, okay. Hassan, I want you to call in. Call the number. He's in my infomercial. I know you're on Facebook. Can you call in to the show? 561. He's a pastor, and he's in my show, The Wicks of Wisdom, that was filmed in 2006. Here. Oh, God. Call the number, please, and let's bring you on. It'd be easier than you just chatting, okay? Call the number, and we'll bring you on the show, and you can testify. My gosh, we go back 30 years. He's used my candles. He knows my gift with God. He used to be a very regular on my radio show years ago. And let's hope that he can get through to the phone number. My computers are pretty messed up, people, and I've had nothing but problems for with the server for about 5 days. I just you can't see the number. 561 623-9421. Just call it. Let's see if he can see it. So, thank you very much, Rebel. I appreciate that. He'll figure it out. But energy is what we're made of, and positive and negative, it's like ions. You learn about it in chemistry, you learn about it in physics, you learn about it in physiology as to what attracts and what rejects. And it's the same thing with people, places, and things. If you're going in the right direction, if you're on the right path, if you're in the right relationship, if you're in the right career. And when you're not in the right place, you're ill. I lack love. ILL. And you will hit more obstacles and more problems, and relationships don't work, or the career fails, or something's preventing you from getting to the next place. You turn left, you turn right, you say, okay, what do you want me to do? And the energy changes, doors open again, and people become your team or your village and your new friends, or you find your way. But that's by becoming almost like your own navigator with your soul. Okay, I had a party here. Dave was here a couple of months ago, and I had about 75 people here. There were a lot of people from my past I did not invite because I don't associate with them anymore. And then those that were here, it was a wonderful, how would you explain it? Calm, sensitive, compatible.
Oh, everybody loved you there.
It was an event. But
yeah, you could feel the love at the party because they were all your friends. They helped you, you helped them. And everybody got along, and it was just a friendly, it was a good vibe. That was the feeling that I got.
Yeah, because there's times you've been to black tie events, you've been to award ceremonies, you've been through weddings and whatever, parties. And sometimes you can go and it's very segregated, or it's egotistical, or it's cliquey, or you can always feel the pockets, right? But
I've been to many Hollywood parties. I was in the business. I was the editor at Warner Brothers, and I'd get invited to these rap parties, and they were huge events. But, I knew maybe one or two people, and they were off, and I just kind of like, oh, hi, what do you do? And that kind of stuff. I didn't feel like I belonged.
Exactly. And that's usually what happens in a crowded situation. It's fun to get dressed up. It's fun to go. And then it's like, okay, it's not for me. And you go home. It's glitz
Leave
and
early,
glam. No, you think it's glitz and glam. And even the people who are running around, they still go home going, okay, that's over. Now what? Okay, Hassan's on the phone. Let's bring him in. Pastor.
Hi, Linda.
Oh, my God.
Hello.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. It's been a long time.
Why don't you introduce yourself? Give us your name, where you're calling from, how long you've known me, what you do with the caskets, your children. You're a single dad of 5 kids. Oh, my God. Bring us up to date. I'm thrilled you're here.
You always make me laugh. Hi, everybody. My name is Hassan. Sometimes Linda Salvin, she calls me Deacon. I used to be a deacon of the church, so they call me Deacon now. I'm a pastor. I sell caskets. I'm worldwide, all domestic and international. And I try to save everybody money because a lot of funeral homes, they're ripping people off. Yep. But getting back to this, I know, because I didn't come here to really talk about me. I just came here to reminisce with my friend, Linda Salvin. She is the sweetest woman in the world. And I'm telling you, if she ever gives you a reading, you better believe it. Because she gave me a reading, and look what I'm doing now.
Why don't we talk? Does this go back? We go back to like 1997 or 98, right?
Yes, we do. Back that long.
Oh my God. Okay. Talk about how you found me, some of the readings, the fact that you have 5 children you raised on your own. Talk about it.
Yes. Okay. Back then, now they have Spectrum, right? But back then they had Warner Brothers, and Linda Salvin was on a commercial, and she was doing her candles, and she was doing readings and stuff. And I said, oh, let me call in. And I called in and got lucky. I was the next caller. And the subject that she was talking about was the retrograde.
Yes, it was a Mercury retrograde. You're all right.
And that's when, and she gave me a reading and everything, because my wife at the time, we separated. So I was raising 5 children on my own, and Linda Salvin, not only that reading, she gave me more readings and stuff like that, but
through the years.
Every single reading that I got from Linda, it came true. And guess what, everybody? One day I got a phone call from Linda, and she invited me. She invited me to come to her house and do a infomercial. And like she said, I think we did it in 2006, like 18 years ago. But yeah.
Yeah, you're in
Wow,
the
it was.
Unfortunately, it's not on TV anymore. It was a short-lived thing. But you testify as a pastor, and a lot of people online, the negative is that they didn't believe you were real, that it was a costume. And, you're always going to get the trolls.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have bashed that thing, but it's being relaunched, and I would love to have you do another testimony and a reel, because today's digital market, as opposed to when we were on TV on cable stations doing the infomercial, now we do reels. So I'm going to call you. You have to give me your new phone number because I don't have it, and I'll contact you.
I would love to.
And I'm also putting together the rest of my book. If you'd like to add a testimony to the book, I would love to have you in there, Deacon.
I would love it. And especially after we did the infomercial, it was so a blessing and stuff like that. And that was no costume. And
no, that was your real collar, and what do they call that? Your priest suit. I don't know.
Yeah, a priest, minister's collar, the white collar, and stuff like that. And not only that, I came there when I did the infomercial. I didn't rehearse for anything. We did it live right then and there. Yeah. So they didn't give me anything to read or say or anything like that.
You spoke from your heart. Right. That's the beauty of it. I may take pieces of it. We'll talk about that, but tell me about your children now. I mean, we're looking so many years down the road. How old are they? Are they married? What's going on?
Well, all my children are doing well. They all went to college, and my youngest one right now is working on a bachelor's degree, and they all have children except the youngest one. They doing great. One time I had to call Linda because one of my daughters ran away from home.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Oh, gosh, that was a long time ago. And I said she'd come home or you'd find her. And that happened, obviously.
She came back home, and I did the candles just exactly how Linda instructed me to. And guess what, everybody? 2 days later, she came back, and guess what? She's a registered nurse now. So, yeah.
She grew up.
And
what are the others?
What
are the others doing for careers? You have to see, Deacon, you're the one that made these girls who they are. You raised 5, not just 1, not just 2, 5 little girls on your own. You put them through school.
I sure did. Yeah, but I did it, but I was so grateful. Now, I wonder if I didn't meet you, Linda, and you didn't give me the readings and all, because I was going through some stuff at the time. But when I met you, I started looking positive and doing positive things. And I'm just grateful to have met you, Linda, because I don't think without me meeting you in the spiritual realm, I don't think I'll be doing what I'm doing now and stuff. No telling what have been going on. What do you think?
I think I was the bridge of light for you, to give you the hope that you could handle it and to help you heal from the divorce. And you were overwhelmed and you didn't know what to do, and you weren't making the kind of money back then that you are now. And I watch your posts and I see the caskets and everything. And yet you were struggling back then in one store, and now you're worldwide. I mean, look at the change of growth. You got the kids through school. You're now a grandfather. How many grandkids do you have now, Deacon?
I have 4 grandkids.
Look what you created.
Yeah. No. I have 7. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about one of my daughters. I have 7, everybody. Oh my God. Yeah, I have 7 grandchildren.
Wow, you better
now.
not let the kids know that you forgot, okay? Because they're going to say, Grandpa, I'm here
Oh
too.
yeah.
That's
Yeah. One
wonderful.
more thing. Now I did have a radio station, but not. I'm not into that right now because I also do crime scene cleanups, suicide, homicide, and hoarders cleanups. And
Wow.
sometimes I get, because I have a scanner and everything, and sometimes if I hear there's a homicide or something, I'll appear on the scene and speak to the families or something like that, and they hire me, and I'm cheaper than everybody else. Let's say I'm affordable, but anyway, I go on a lot of scenes at Hassan's crime scene cleanups, and if y'all want to look me up, just look for Hassan.
Hassan's cleanup. Okay. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But the topic today is healing. Now, Dave had a near-death, out-of-body experience when he was he was 18 and he was about to drown in the ocean in Hawaii. With what you've gone through, how can you go back to when we met in the 90s, 30 years ago? And yes, I believe you're contacting me and me working with you helped you parent the kids, accelerate in the career, grow as a human being,
Right.
enhance your own spirituality with the candles because you were already connected to God religiously with you being a pastor and your congregation.
Yeah.
But you're still human and you had to heal. So how can you define or explain a little bit of your own healing along the way these 16 years? What more do you think you've been through, or how can you share with the audience on a spiritual level your healing from where you were? I mean, life is up and down and loss and grief and gratitude and joy. It's everything. But you're here.
Okay, first, now I don't know, and this has not been planned, that I'm calling today. And
no, it's a surprise.
I just want the audience to know that Linda and I did not rehearse anything. I saw her on Facebook the other day, and I said, wow, I miss talking to you, Linda, and I miss being on your show. And she told me to call Tuesday or Wednesday. So I want to straighten that out, that this is not anything rehearsed. So now, the first thing I suggest, and I don't even know if Linda is still doing the candles or what.
Oh, yes, I am.
Yes.
I still do Wicks of Wisdom, and Dave here is my photographer. And if you go to lindasalvin.com or wicksofwisdom.net, there's 16 different sets. Dave did a beautiful job photographing my products. Back when you knew me, I think I only had about 10. Now I've got 16. But go on. Yes, I still do the Wicks of Wisdom.
Good. Because I'm going to first say, if you're going through anything, if you're religious or not religious or whatever the case may be, whatever situation that you are going through, the first thing I am going to say is that you all need to purchase a candle, a wick of wisdom.
Thank you.
If it's a love candle, or if you're going through love, or if you're going through any situation, I suggest, because it helped me. Every time I would go through something, I would call Linda, and next thing you know, she would send me some candles for that exact thing that I was going through. Like my daughter, she was a teenager then, like 13, 14, wasn't even in high school, running away, doing what she wanted to do, and all of that. But that's the first thing that you all are going to have to do. You can't do it by yourself. If you purchase Wicks of Wisdom candles, like she said, it's going to enhance that spirituality and get you where you need to go and solve your problems and all of that. If it worked for me,
Thanks
I'm
for the
telling you,
plug.
it's gonna work for you.
Deacon,
Mhm.
this is great. We're almost out of time here, but what I would like to do is have you text me your phone number here where you were just chatting. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Go to my private. I don't want it online. Okay. I don't want people to see it privately.
Understand. Mhm.
Yeah. Privately text me or message me your phone number and your email address.
I
So I have
will.
it. And then I will call you, and I would like to bring you on as a guest, like Dave is a guest, and have you visually talk and let people see you. Would you be
I
open to
see
that?
David. Hi, David. Yeah.
Okay. He said, hi, David. So yeah, we'll bring you on in a month or so. I'm going to be out of town. And then I'm going to contact you about the book. If you want to put your testimony into the book as another chapter
Mhm.
of your experience, I think it'd be beautiful. And your
I would
picture
love
with
to.
we can use the old picture of you with the collar and everything to show the priesthood. But main thing is, you look at what the caskets are sold around the world. You were just in Pomona at one point, just in a little space. Now you've
Yeah.
expanded, and I told you it will all open up later, but these kids were all
You
going to be
did.
healthy. I told you the kids would be healthy. I told you that you would succeed and that you were going to be a great
You did.
father. And look what you
sure
did.
did. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
How old are you now, Deacon?
Say that again.
How old are you now?
I feel like answering like I'm Jack Benny. I'm 39.
I think we're all forever 39.
So,
Okay.
Deacon, I have a question for you. In your experience, you are a religious man. Now, do these candles have anything to do with religion, or is that like do candles kind of transcend the whether you're
candles.
Catholic or whatever?
The candles enhances the spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
So
is that a good answer for you?
Yes, and that's why when we had you in your uniform or your suit, your outfit, it made the impression that you were sitting there holding the candle, talking about how it enhances spirituality while you're a religious figure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried to, that's what Dave's asking, because I have made Wicks of Wisdom outside the occult, outside mainstream. I've made it more mainstream by putting Kabbalah and Santeria together, but I took away any occult reference. And I do still get people saying, oh, my priest won't approve, or my whatever won't approve, or I'm a Christian. I said, it has nothing to do with that. It's spiritual. And I said, if God didn't want me to have the gift, he wouldn't have given it to me. And I shut people up. Either they want to work with me or they don't. But the beauty of you is because you're a man of cloth with religious beliefs, and it was still working metaphysically. So one really didn't affect the other, even though some people judge it. You're right, Dave.
Well, because all religions use candles. You go into any Catholic church, and as soon as you walk in the vestibule, they have the little votive candles.
Yeah, the votives.
And they're all over. And then the Jewish people light a candle.
Hanukkah.
The Hanukkah thing where they have the 8 candles.
Yeah,
and they light one each day. So candles are almost a universal acceptance.
Candles go back to the Kabbalah. Over 3,500 years ago, there's a page in Kabbalah where it means Chakma, which is life, and the candle itself means the soul of man, and the wick, when lit, is the flame, which is light, which is God. So we're still talking to God with the petition, and that's how it all comes together. Yeah. But a lot of people don't know that.
Yes.
Deacon, you've just made my day. It's been a weird week for me, to say the least, and you just help balance it. I need to start to wrap up the show. What else would you like to say as we say goodbye? Or if you want to ask Dave, or Dave wants to ask another question, because you two come from very different worlds. You've both experienced it. Dave has a little story. Listen to this, Deacon. Listen to what I did to Dave. I gave Dave a soulmate candle. You mentioned love, and he wanted to test it to see if it really works. So he did a candle on an old girlfriend. Go on.
I was very skeptical about this candle business, and I wanted to see for myself if it really worked. So Linda gave me a candle, and it was just the one. There were 3 candles in the set, And so she
Mm-hmm.
told me what to write down on the little piece of
Petition.
paper. And
Yeah.
so I did
Yeah.
the whole routine. You write your wishes down, your desires,
Yeah.
and add the oils and the
Yeah.
powders and all that stuff. And I just wanted to check.
Mm-hmm.
And so my wish was for an old girlfriend to contact me. And
Uh-huh.
so halfway through, so I lit the first candle, nothing happened. But halfway through the second candle, I get a phone call.
Mhm.
And on my phone, it just said Olympia, Washington. I go, well, that's my hometown. So I wonder what's, so I answered it, and it was, hi, Dave. And it was my old girlfriend, just called out of the blue. And I was so surprised that halfway through the second candle, this magic, if it was magic, it worked. I'm not sure what to attribute that to. And so we talked,
Yeah.
and we had a nice 45-minute conversation. And then she texted me and said, oh, it was nice to talk to you. And then the next day she sent another text. And the next day she kept calling. And it got to the point where it's like, you know
Stop.
what? We've caught up already, the 30 or 40 years between. And I finally had to block her. It was so powerful that she could not prevent herself from contacting me. And it was like, she's married, I'm married. I don't want to start any kind of thing going on. So I finally had to block it, but the candle worked. I was so surprised.
Yeah.
Wow.
It used to work like a
They do
prescription.
work.
Yeah,
They
they
work.
Deacon, you're such
They
a blessing.
work.
And you brought so many memories back. Please message me or go to lindasalvin.com and send an email there. But send me your number and email. I will contact you, catch up, and we'll book a time to bring you on the show by yourself and see your face, and you'll share the story. But
I would love that. Yeah,
I know.
I would love that.
I'm thrilled to hear from you, kids, grandkids, your worldwide success from where you were panicked as to how it was going to happen. And I kind of gave you the flashlight step by step. And oh my God, I'm thrilled with this. I'm getting chills. And chills is confirmation of spirit. Great. I have 2 minutes left in the show. I need to close down here. Text me and I'll be in touch this afternoon. Okay.
All right. And thanks for having me. And thanks for listening, everybody. And like I said, if you want something to happen, get Wicks of Wisdom and get a reading from Linda Salvin. I love you. God loves you. And there's not anything you all can do about it. Bye now.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Deacon.
Bye-bye. Whoa. I'm speechless. I'm honored. I'm grateful. I'm shocked. I saw him on Facebook. He says hi, but I didn't know that he'd really pop up. But it tied in beautifully because he's of cloth and he saw it, and you were skeptical, but you saw it. So regardless of where we come from, there's something out there that we all experience. It goes back to the beginning of the show, which is when you have the out-of-body experience. We're all energy and how we heal, right? This man was devastated with 5 little babies, not knowing what to do. And here we are. He's 28 years later. He pulled it together and he's known around the world. It's magic. I want to thank Dave Swafford for joining the show today. He comes on quite a bit, and I love having him co-host or put in his 2 cents and talk about his own experience. He'll be back, and I'll be back. But for the next 5 shows, you're going to have replays because I'm taking vacation, folks. I'll be back the week of maybe I'll be back live on the 21st. I'm not sure. It depends how I feel after my trip. Otherwise, it'll be the following week. But a lot of these replays, I'll put this one back up as a replay. I think that'll be interesting for people to see. And Dave, do you have any final messages? We've got a minute left.
No, I just was happy that the candles worked and surprised. And now I'm convinced that the candles, however they work.
That your weird neighbor knows what she's doing, right?
Yeah, I was skeptical, but now I'm convinced, and they do work. And if anybody had any kind of, you can go to your website because they have different candles for different situations.
Yes. Every problem has a solution. I want to thank Dave Swafford and all of you for listening. I am Dr. Linda Selvin. You can find me at lindaselvin.com and the Wicks of Wisdom at wicksofwisdom.net, which goes to lindaselvin.com. You can listen to YouTube at Dr. Linda Selvin. You can tune in to Dr. Linda Radio on my website. I'm everywhere on iTunes and iHeart and gosh knows where, especially on Talk for TV right here with the system that produces the show. But until next time, if you have any questions, call me off the air, as you'll see the number momentarily. Send me an email. God bless. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.